Exit 15.
I'm 600 miles from home in Alabama, Huntsville, on the way to see abom, and I'm pulling off right here to go to the Space Center. So I'll give you a few short views of that. There's the Space Center.
Turn right to Space and Rocket
I only got lost twice so far. Quite warm here, 67 degrees. And I'll spend about 4 hours here.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left.
RV park, if I can figure out. There's the spaceship. It says welcome. I must be about in the right spot. Guest parking. This is going to be pretty exciting.
Turn left.
Looks like this is the regular parking right here. There's the space shuttle. Boy, that's a huge thing.
In 600 feet, you'll arrive at Huntsville Space Center.
Well, Waze tells me I'm here. Here I am at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, Huntsville, Alabama. I don't know if that's the blackbird there or what that is. Pretty exciting here. For all of you welders out here, here's a friction welder that could be used in space. Pause your video if you want to read that. Here's a large bust of Wernher von Braun, one of my idols. Although considered a Nazi by many. This is Wernher von Braun's office and desk.
Dr. von Braun was working with his son, Peter, to build the Pinewood Derby car, and they needed some lubricant for the axle. And as I recall, he called Bill Lucas and asked Bill for advice on what's the best kind of lubricant to use on the nail.
All right, this is called Rocket Park. I think the part I will like the most, I'm not going to show a whole lot of this, but we'll just take a little walk around. This is Saturn 1. Rather impressive. This is the famous German V1 rocket called the Buzz Bomb that was used in the Blitz of England in 1940. There were 20,000 of these made. I think that's what they call a ramjet. Somebody might have to correct me on that. Famous for the bombing of London. You can see the controls back here. Rather crude looking, just a rudder and flaps here. And quite a warhead on it, or I'm not sure where the explosives were. Probably a lot of fuel as well as explosives. There's the Army's Jupiter rocket. And on this side, the Juno. And several more here. And here's the Mercury Redstone, right into the sun. And the Saturn F1 engine. Quite a contraption. And here it is, the big daddy of them all, the Saturn V. Very, very impressive. It's hard to imagine just how big this rocket is. Again, this is the Saturn V. And in this building here, I am now going to go into, called the Saturn V Hall. We'll see what's in there. I am now in what's known as Saturn V Hall, and here we have a Saturn V on its side. And this is really neat. And this is a historic landmark on loan from the Smithsonian. Hope they don't want it back soon. I'm halfway down the hall, and this is where the stages separate. And yet again, here's the next stage. And the next. This is quite an artifact. This is Apollo 16 command module that went to the moon with John Young, Mattingly, and Charles Duke. And it brought back 208 pounds of moon rock.
They were collected by Apollo astronauts. Oh yeah, we think the moon core when a planet smashed into the Earth. The debris turned into the moon.
Oh, here's the famous German V2 rocket. which I always thought had the most beautiful shape of any of the rockets. But on this captured document here, it's a cutaway of the V2. You know how I like my cutaways. But very interesting here, you can see that it says when it was captured and forwarded to the U.S. Third Army. I call this plane by the wrong name. It's sometimes called the ox cart. It's a new exhibit under construction. This is the rocket engine for the V2. And this is the Pathfinder shuttle. Rather impressive looking thing, but it is a mock-up. Okay, that concludes this trip here at Huntsville. I just touched on a few different things here. There's a lot to see. Allow at least 4 hours. And I'll see you in the next segment of the trip as we go to the Barber Motorcycle Museum.